Namaste. My name is Akshata Shilwant. I also go by the name Aki for people who have a hard time pronouncing the name Akshata. I'm so excited to offer this free live webinar on Root Your Root Chakra. I know most of you have registered for this webinar because you heard me on Sivana's podcast on spiritualizing loneliness and grief. So I really thank you for joining this webinar and for registering for this. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know I'm an Ayurveda yoga lifestyle consultant living in Phoenix, Arizona, here in US. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening here, Pacific Standard Time. Please do let me know from where you all are joining. I know it is worldwide, so hopefully it's a decent time zone for you to attend. And there are many who are waiting for the recording of this webinar. So please be assured this recording is recorded only on me and on my presentation deck. You won't be seen. So please don't shy away from coming on the video because you won't be recorded. It's only myself and the presentation deck is getting recorded. So let's get started. I'll just share my deck now. Can you all see my presentation? Root your root chakra. Can you all see it? Thank you. So this is roughly about 50 to 60 minutes presentation. I like to keep it very interactive and informal. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Stop me anytime and we can tailor it to your needs. So I would love to make it more customized than following it slide by slide. But this is the contents we'll be covering in the presentation. We'll go over the yogic wisdom on root chakra, the Vedic mantra to heal our root chakra, and that is very powerful. I personally have used it during my own grief journey. For people who have listened to my podcast know about it. We'll also do some pranayama and visualization technique. I'll do about 8 to 10 minutes of root chakra meditation to give you an idea how you need to do this in your own personal home or wherever you feel comfortable. But ideally start with 5 minutes to 8 minutes, but go at least for an hour because this really makes a huge impact. But you start slowly, build gradually, and the root chakra meditation is very powerful to build the foundation in our life. And I'll also tell you about what yoga asanas and exercise are good, specific for the root chakra. And being an Ayurveda consultant, I want to give you the diet aspect as well, because diet plays a crucial role in balancing any of our chakras, but especially the root chakras, and what should be our daily rituals. And then I'll take Q&A, but as I said, I can also take questions as they come along. You don't have to wait till the end. So before we begin, I always like to start with a prayer. This is one of my favorite prayers I start all my workshops and webinars with. So let's just take a second, gather ourselves, and if possible, try to sit in the meditation posture. It's called a Sukhasana, with cross-legged, or wherever you feel comfortable, be it on a chair. Make sure your feet are touching the ground. That is very important. Mother Earth is very, very important to balance our earth chakra, root chakra. So let's just close our eyes, try to get centered. If possible, try to slowly gaze, closing your eyes, a soft gaze at the point between the eyebrows. Just be ready to receive the grace of the yogic wisdom and Ayurveda that will help us to balance and heal root chakra today. You can bring your palms together in Namaskar Mudra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The English translation is on the right side. May there be well-being in all. May there be peace in all. May there be fulfillment in all. And may there be auspiciousness in all. So this is a very powerful prayer, and it has always deeply touched me, is when we ask for anything in life, and especially for this Root Chakra webinar, everything we need in our life, be it needs or wants, everything is connected to root chakra. So what this prayer tells us is, if you want health, if you want prosperity, if you want loving relationships, whatever you want in life, include others first, and in that others, you be blessed for receiving it. So what it says is, don't be very selfish or self-centered, asking just for yourself. We have the right to ask for ourselves only when we include others in the prayer. So this touches me every time. So I hope this makes some impact for you and you get drawn to this. Before we get started, a quick introduction on myself. My spiritual guru is Paramahansa Yogananda. Most of you might have heard his name or read his book, Autobiography of a Yogi. This is a spiritual classic. I found my guru in the year 1996 and have been practicing his Kriya Yoga since the year 2000. So what can I say about my guru? The only thing I can tell is my life has a meaning because of my guru. He's been there as an anchor in the roller coaster ride of life. So just wanted to give my blessings and to my guru, give my respects to my guru and receive his blessings. I said it the other way around. And here is my blessed yoga teacher. His name is Yoga Rishi Vishwaketu. Some of you might be familiar with him. He comes to the US. He's been there as the featured speaker in many of the yoga festivals, and have been very fortunate to have learned the classical Hatha Yoga from the Nath lineage in Rishikesh, India. You can check him out and his yoga classes. He offers quite a few free online classes at his website, akhandayoga.com. And before we dive into the root chakra meditation and why root chakra has to be healed, I wanted to let you know how Ayurveda and yoga came into my life. People just assume, being born and brought up in India, you naturally have respect and reverence and follow Ayurvedic lifestyle and yoga. That's not true. At least it was not true in my case. In fact, my dad was an engineer. So in our home, it was a very logical mindset. Ayurveda was considered to be a holistic medicine, not even medicine, a holistic way where rural people used it because they couldn't afford the mainstream medical. So kind of, to be honest, looked down upon it and really didn't believe in the wisdom of Ayurveda. Yoga was kind of neutral. I mean, in our home, we neither believed in it nor we looked down upon it. But especially Ayurveda, we thought it was all humbo jumbo kind of a thing, and it really didn't exist. And now looking back, and when I look back, and now when I give my workshops and presentations, and when I do my one-on-one consultations, I always try to tell my clients is like, look at your life, observe it. And if there are any facets in life where you have looked down upon certain things, universe really conspires to make sure you come face to face with the situation that you had looked down upon, or the things you had looked down upon, and take the right step towards it. So in my case, what happened was my father was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it became pretty advanced in just few weeks. And he couldn't sit on a sofa. We had to put like 3-4 pillows. He was pretty much handicapped. I mean, he was bedridden, actually. My mother had to bathe him. So it was pretty devastating to see my father. He was a big guy and pretty healthy in life. Suddenly falling down like this. And I was the only child. So it was devastating to me and to my mother. When the mainstream medical diagnosed it, they said it was an advanced stage of rheumatoid arthritis. And they said basically there is no cure as such to it. He has to be on some strong medications and pretty much handicapped in life. So it was really devastating. I mean, we couldn't imagine seeing me and my mother, seeing my dad being bedridden. He was very energetic guy and quite healthy in life. So we didn't know what to do, but when I look back now, I really thank my dad's lucky stars, because one of his cousins mentioned about a person who practiced holistic life therapies like Ayurveda, homeopathy in our city we lived in. So he suggested that we meet with him. And my dad, being a logical person, he said there is no cure in the mainstream medical system. And I am like pretty much bedridden now and with a lot of pain with joint aches and all. He said, let's give it a shot. What is there to lose? So I vividly remember driving him to that place. We went there like maybe in the morning or mid-morning. I don't exactly remember now. But there were a lot of people in front of the front yard. All village folks. As I said, Ayurveda was really practiced by the rural folk then. Today it has a lot of importance in India, but back in 90s, late 90s, it was pretty much for the rural village folk. So we went there. His house was packed with people. His front yard was filled with people for consultations on various kinds of diseases, big, small, major illnesses, and whatnot. I vividly remember interviewing him for at least 5 to 8 minutes. He patiently listened to me because I was a daddy's girl, and I was like, oh my God. And I was, I think, maybe 18 and a half at that time. And for me, it was just very hard to accept that my dad is getting handicapped and bedridden. So I just couldn't accept that. So I went and asked him, and he also had a heart condition. He used to take one pill that had to be taken throughout his life. And he was a high blood pressure patient all his life. So he patiently listened to me, and then he just looked at my father. He was sitting behind me, and he looked into his eyes and asked, will you have faith in what I give you? And the way my father said yes, that resounding yes, I mean, my back was facing him. I couldn't see him. But that resounding yes even rings in my ears today. There was some magic in it. And I knew instinctively that he would be healed, you know. So long story short, it was a big roller coaster ride, about 1 year, 9 months to 12 months, a lot of chronic aggravations. But he got completely healed from rheumatoid arthritis. Not only that, his blood pressure was 120/80 all his life. He passed away in 2006, and he never took any medications after getting healed from the arthritis. And his heart condition came out normal. His ECG graph was normal, so he never was any medications. And what I learned is just tweaking your diet to your body constitution can act as medicine. So that made a huge impact on my young mind and on my heart. It's like, wow, it's not about just eating right foods, but eating right foods to your body constitution, which is called as dosha in Ayurveda, can act as medicine, and that creates the magic. And he was not given any strong medication in Ayurveda or in homeopathy. It was just one dose, but the diet was tweaked. My mother had to revamp the kitchen, the cooking oils changed, everything changed in the kitchen to his body type. And it took a while, about a year, but look at the benefits. It was uprooted. There was no suppression. It was really healed from the root. And the side benefits were he got healed from his heart condition, his blood pressure came out normal, and he also lost a lot of weight. He became a very skinny guy, and he was big kapha person according to Ayurveda. So that was a real blessing in my life, the way Ayurveda came. And then in my own life, I had suffered hypothyroidism when I lost my parents. And as some of you might have heard in the podcast, in Spiritualizing Loneliness and Grief, as being an only child, I went through a long grief period, almost 8 to 10 years. I lost my mother first. And then it was all of a sudden, she just had a flu, but she just passed away. And within the span of 2 years, my dad passed away as well. So there was a big void, and I knew they had me very late in life. I knew they won't be there in my later years. But still, when I lost them, it was totally earth-shattering for me. So it took a long time, and because of that, it resulted in hypothyroidism. And then when my mainstream doctor said they'll put me on medications, I was very reluctant. I asked them if you can give me some time, and I will try to regulate it or heal, reverse it with an Ayurveda and yoga lifestyle. So I asked about 18 months to 2 years, and I just dived into Ayurvedic wisdom, ate all my meals, almost 95% according to my dosha, my constitution. I practiced yoga religiously. So in a matter of 18 months, I completely reversed my hypothyroidism, and it's also the grace of my guru. And that made another profound impact on me, is like, again, the right foods can act as medicine. This time worked directly on me. It was not just seeing my dad being healed. So in that process of coming out of grief and healing myself with hypothyroidism, I got a strong feeling that my dharma, my calling in life, is to share this Ayurvedic wisdom that I had learned and studied, contemplated, and made it my own. So I started with a Facebook page, and then it went really well. A lot of people started taking interest because the recipes I shared on them were very unique. You would not get them on YouTube or any cookbooks. They were all crafted for my own. I think most of the recipes were during the phase where I was healing myself from thyroid. So they were very unique recipes. You can still find them on my website when you go to the blog section, and there's a drop down. Look for recipes. You'll find tons of recipes. All of them are vegan and gluten-free, because I did go vegan and gluten-free to heal my thyroid. So again, long story short, when people started taking seriously, I thought I was in IT before, by the way. I worked in information technology and I was very happy in the job. Never in the wildest of dreams thought of, making this as my life. I don't want to say career, it's my lifestyle that I'm sharing with you all. And then eventually I built the website. This is jivalifestyle.com, you see on the slide, to make it a serious platform, as people were really taking seriously the way I was sharing Ayurveda and yoga. And today, again, I would like to thank my guru. I have clients all over the world. Thanks to my podcast interviews, thanks to the way it is spreading word of mouth. I have clients all over US and Canada, but I also have clients from UK, Switzerland, Australia, Paris, India. So it's slowly moving, steadily and slowly. So it's just the grace. I feel when you start living your dharma, universe miraculously starts opening doors for you. So I honestly believe that, and this is my website. If you haven't checked, please take a look. So my passion after being healed from thyroid and seeing my dad heal, this was the calling I had to embrace. So I call Ayurveda the lost soulmate of yoga. Because for some reason, especially in the West and here in the US, yoga came big way and people accepted yoga and have been practicing it now. It's become a mainstream. But for some reason, the soulmate of yoga, Ayurveda, was left behind. And I strongly believe to fully reap the benefits of yoga, we need to bring Ayurveda into our practice. And my passion is to give this in a simplified and practical way so that you can apply it in your daily life. So most of my clients have read many books on Ayurveda, have gone to so many trainings, but they still feel, wow, it is amazing, but it's vast and vague at the same time. So they have some struggle how to apply it practically. And I think my passion is to make it practical for my clients so that they know how to embrace Ayurveda and make it as a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's not a fad, it's a lifestyle you can live with. So just touching base on Ayurveda very little so that it makes sense why we're doing the Root Chakra workshop. Because without knowing Ayurveda component, diving straight into Root Chakra would not be fair. So some of you might be very new to Ayurveda. Please let me know. Ayur is life, Veda is wisdom from Sanskrit language in India. So you can call this as the wisdom of longevity or knowledge of life. I like to call it as a reference manual for life, because everything from the way you want to sit, you want to eat, drink, to all the mundane, to the most important things we will do on this planet Earth, everything is covered in Ayurveda. So it's like a life's reference manual to how to keep this sophisticated gadget that has been given by our creator, how we keep this balanced, healthy, and live a fulfilled life. So the purpose of Ayurveda is to protect health of the healthy and elevate disorders in the deceased. So this is the first author of Ayurveda, Charaka Samhita, who says that health of the healthy, protection of health of the healthy, is one of the important pillars of Ayurveda. So it focuses more on preventative than reactive. There have been many instances, if you look into Ayurvedic texts, like major surgeries have been done, life-threatening diseases have been healed. But the main purpose of Ayurveda is, why don't you take care of your body in the right way, eat according to the season, eat according to your body type, so you live healthy. You don't have to fall sick to kind of become healthy. Your default, the human being's default nature is healthy and joyful. So don't compromise that. You don't have to have a physical manifestation of disease and then come back and then heal yourself. What it says is preventative is the right way to live a healthy and fulfilled life. And I like the definition of Ayurveda's on health. It is not just absence of disease. You know, if you go to the modern Western medicine and if you go to a doctor, they will look at our vital statistics and our blood report, and they would say, hey, everything is normal, so you're healthy. That is just one facet of it. The definition of health in Ayurveda goes a little quite wide, and it's more deeper in one whose all three doshas are in balance. So if you know about doshas, those are the vata, pitta, and kapha. If not, I'll briefly touch on that. Where appetite is wholesome, digestion is strong, all body tissues are functioning favorably, excretion is regular, and mind is in a state of bliss, in tune with the spirit. So when you see this definition, it is so all-encompassing. It is not just about being healthy. That's just literally, it's the tip of the iceberg. Is having sure that our digestion and excretion is regular, and that's very key in Ayurveda, and our mind is in a state of bliss. So there is that mind-body connection, which is so crucial, and keeping, not just being healthy, but being alive is what Ayurveda says. Are you in the moment? Are you really enjoying life? Are you having that rasa in life? So that is real healthy in Ayurveda. And as I said very briefly, in Ayurveda, what it says, and in Yogic philosophy, this is not just Ayurveda, that this whole creation that we see is so vast and complex. It is only made up of 5 elements, and those 5 elements are ether, air, fire, earth, and water. So these 5 elements have made this complex creation, and these 5 elements have made us. So there's a very symbiotic relationship between what affects the outer environment affects us, and what affects us affects the outer environment. And the permutation and combination of these 5 elements have made Ayurveda doshas that I had mentioned before. Doshas are nothing but body constitution. So of the 5 elements, air and ether make up a constitution called vata. Vata in Sanskrit means movement or wind, and pitta means fire. So out of the 5 elements, fire and water make up pitta, the fire element, and out of the 5 elements, earth and water make up the kapha constitution, which can be called as mucus. So all 5 elements reside in each dosha. So vata has the 5 elements, pitta has the 5 elements, kapha has the 5 elements. But the 2 elements dominant in vata are air and ether. In pitta, the dominant are fire and water. And in kapha, it is earth and water. So what Ayurveda says is, they won't tell me that I'm Akshata. Ayurveda's definition is, what is your body type? Who are you? So we are born with a unique body constitution. You can call it as a blueprint. And that is called Prakriti. That is your balanced state. And taking myself as an example, I'm Pitta Kapha. So most of the people fall in the category of 2 doshas, one being dominant, second being subdominant, and the third being passive. So for me, Pitta is the dominant dosha, Kapha is subdominant, and Vata acts passive. But all 3 doshas exist in every individual. And these doshas also exist in our city, in our environment, and influences us a lot. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, here in the US. And our Phoenix city is mainly Vata, meaning it's very dry. And the summers are brutal. I mean, it's a desert, so there are high temperatures, but it's dry heat. So there's Vata and Pitta influence in Phoenix a lot. So that all affects us in what city you live in, what environment you live in, what kind of people you associate with, all have an influence on your body constitution. So now we come to root chakra. So that you have a basic understanding of Ayurveda, I wanted to give you all something that Ayurveda principles that are familiar with you so that we can dive deep into root chakra. So before we get started on the webinar, quickly see where you stand. So strongly agree, somewhat agree, or disagree on these questions. How do you feel? Is there security, stability in your life? Did you have a troubled childhood? Was it parents were abusive, or were there certain incidents where you had really bad incidents with friend or something? So there's some mental trauma in childhood can immensely impact root chakra. Passive aggressive personality is very, very common. Like, as I said, I do one-on-one consultations, almost worldwide clients today. And what I see is my clientele, 85% of my client are Vata dominant. So we just heard about Vata people. Their element is air and ether. So when the dominant elements are air and ether, what they need is grounding, because they are kind of levitating in the space, if you will. So what I always tell my clients is, like, I give an analogy of a flying kite. So wherever the wind moves, the kite moves. So today they might say like, hey, I want to do this. I'm so enthusiastic on this project. I'll get this going. I commit myself to doing. And they'll use really tall words like, this is my dharma. I promise to do it. So they use really strong words which are like promissory notes. You cannot back off when you use the word dharma, when you use the word promise, because that is something that sets your character and integrity. But they just keep saying it without thinking, because it's that vata element. And just meet them after 2 days, they won't even remember half of what they said. And they will just kind of say yes to everything because they have a hard time saying no. So most of the vata dominant people, if the vata is not balanced, they have an issue with root chakra, is what I'm trying to say. And they'll, instead of saying no to things, they have a hard time saying no. They'll keep saying yes, and they'll never execute it. So that creates a lot of problem in corporate world, and even a lot of yoga teachers are my clients. And I have seen people committing more than they can do and then earn a bad reputation. So I always tell, don't blame that person, blame the vata. Vata has to be balanced, and they can be a very most productive, most creative person. So passive aggressive personality is also a trigger that your root chakra has to be balanced, because you can't take decisions in life. Saying yes also needs confidence and self-esteem, and saying no when no is needed needs confidence and self-esteem. And also check if you take decisions, even big or small, with fear infused, or do you take decisions based on trust? This is what is meant to be done, or do you do it because it's fear infused, you know? And do you have trouble in relationships? Are you facing relationship troubles right now, or did you have problems? Did you walk in, walk out of relationships, bad marriages? You know, even not just with life partners, it can be with your extended family, with your co-workers, with your children. So see if those are there, then that also requires balancing root chakra. And also hard time meeting basic needs. So root chakra is all about giving you security and stability. Like even the basic needs like a roof under your head, not under your head, roof above your head, I'm sorry, having a home, having good meals, 3 meals to eat, having basic income so that you can take care of your basic needs. So the basic survival instincts are also in root chakra. And if people are constantly having trouble meeting both ends, then they have a big imbalance in root chakra, and that has to be corrected. Their mindset on financial bucket of life. I always say buckets of life. You know, they might have a scarcity mindset. It's like, oh my God, if I spend here, I won't have money. If I do this, I won't have money. And basically having lost rasa in life. Rasa in Ayurveda is that creative juice that flows in us, you know, being hungry for life, being hungry to know things in life. And if we are not hungry, we are pretty much living like a dead person. So if you don't have rasa in life, Ayurveda says you are a living dead. So all these kind of trigger that you need root chakra balance or not. So you can say strongly agree, somewhat agree, disagree, and let me know what you think, you know, share in the, you can speak out on the video, or you can kind of write in the chat section. So why do we need to heal our root chakra? The one thing that always I see is, for me, taking my own personal journey, when I was going through the grief period, my root chakra was immensely impacted. I just felt I don't have a belonging, you know, like I felt like an orphan. That was the word that came to me when my dad passed away. I was relying more on my relatives, my extended family, and I didn't get that support. I talk a lot on that on the podcast on Sivana. If you want to listen, please go ahead and do it. So there is no sense of belonging, and that really shakes our foundation in life, you know. I felt ostracized in my family. My extended family felt alone. Nobody wanted to really care. Am I how am I doing? Do you want me to hold your hand? I wanted someone to emotionally be with me. I was not looking for any financial help or anything, but I wanted someone to be there emotionally, especially a woman. And I was relying more on my mom's sisters, and I didn't get that. I had my husband to fall back on, but still I was looking more from my family side because they had more connection with my parents, and I wanted to share and go through the journey and heal myself with them. So no sense of belonging is a big thing in root chakra. And that disconnects us with our higher self. And I have been always a spiritual person, as I found my guru early in life. But at that time, I felt like I didn't have a footing, if you will. I felt like I was just not the person I know. And even my meditations were not that good. I couldn't focus. I couldn't connect. And there was some vata imbalance in me. As I said, I was pitta kapha. But, when you have really challenging situations in life, even your passive dosha can become quite aggressive in your life and imbalance you. So I had quite a bit of vata imbalance, anxious mind, fearful mind. I didn't know I was fearful all this time, but I was just very fearful is that I'm the only one. And I know I don't have any siblings. So a lot of toxic emotions were coming out. And eating disorders was big time. Even I, at that time, I'm pretty sure didn't eat healthy. I was just trying to survive. Wasn't really paying attention to my diet. And you can have a harmful behavior. I was like more into, you get into that silent depression mood. You don't feel like taking care of yourself or your loved ones. You just go with life like, on a autonomous way. Whatever it does, it does. I mean, as I said, there is no rasa in life. And there was huge hormone imbalance in me. That's why I had thyroid for sure. So that's why if you have these things happening in you, then I really would like to encourage, please balance your root chakra. It's pretty powerful. That's the one where we stand on our root chakra. We live our life on our root chakra. It's like giving an analogy. You might have a beautiful home with amazing furniture and fixtures and beautiful things in your life. But if the foundation of your house is not built right, just a big tornado or a storm can make huge damage to your house if the foundation is not strong to withstand the life. The seasons can throw anything, storm. I was trying to say something. I'm not getting it. Never mind, I think you get it. It's like you need the foundation to be strong to live a fulfilled life. So from feeling not being connected to anyone, coming to a place and saying, I'm a child of divine, is like I have everything I want within me to be successful in life in any endeavor. So when your root chakra gets balanced, you really don't rely on anyone else. You are your own one-person army, if you will, because you're connected to that higher self within, which literally guides you in life. Everyone else in our life, if you really see and think, are there as a companions of life. There's no one who will be like really living your life for you. You have to live your own. You come alone, you go alone, and be alone is what my guru says. So we've come alone on this planet Earth, and one day when our time is done, we leave. So when we are here, if we connect to that higher self, we get that amazing connectivity. You can take an analogy that the Wi-Fi connection is so strong that whenever you have any challenges, you can connect to that higher self to get answers to your problems in your any situations. And you feel like, okay, I have a footing now. There is something I can rely on, which will always be there in my life. This is not something that you have a fear that, you will come out of the relationship, that person will betray you. When you connect to your higher self, it is with you. I mean, that there cannot be anything greater than that. There won't be any breakups. There won't be any loyalty issues. That's one thing. You're connecting to your creator. So what more can you ask for? And that's why I always say for root chakra, the muladhara is in our, is the base of our spine. So we really can't touch it. We can sit on it, but we cannot really touch it. Like how we can touch the swadhisthana chakra, the second chakra, the sacral. Root chakra is way inside. It's in the base of the spine. It's in our rectum area. So we really can't touch it. So, but connecting to Mother Earth, sitting on the ground, sitting on a lawn, and just rolling even on the ground. I tell so many of my clients who have huge issues on root chakra, is just roll on the tile. If you have a home where you have tile, it's perfect. I mean, carpet is okay, but the tile, you have the connection to Mother Earth more strong. And also if the weather is comfortable, you can go out and maybe roll yourself on the lawn. So that gives you a nice connection. The root chakra knows how to connect to Mother Earth. And the Bij mantra for root chakra to balance is Om Lam. So this is what the Yogic Philosophy say, and I have used it. Om Lam, L-A-M, just holding yourself to the ground, sitting in the meditative posture, closing your eyes and saying Om Lam, Om Lam. Maybe first loudly, then softly, then, by closing your eyes and then internalizing yourself and mentally whispering it. So whenever you say Om Lam, you focus here at the point between the eyebrows, but you also visualize the root chakra, which is red in color. Introspection, chanting are also big. I chanted quite a bit for my thyroid because it's Vishuddhi, the throat chakra, and chanting really regulates your hormones. That's one thing yogic texts always say, is chanting really regulates the thyroid, parathyroid gland. So I really chanted, and I have a devotional nature, being kapha as my subdominant. I love to chant, and I used chanting to kind of get me out of the grief process, and also that automatically started to strengthen my thyroid gland. So any chanting, and I would encourage spiritual chants. It doesn't have to be Indian Sanskrit chants. Anything that calls you, it has to call you. You have to connect to it. That is the key. It is not what you chant, but the chant that connects you to that higher self is what is really important. And then introspect, always put some time and see where you are at and where you need to go. Introspection and contemplation helps to balance root chakras. And there are certain yoga asanas that I would like to recommend for root chakra. And mainly the first and the foremost is just sitting in meditative posture, making sure your bottom is hitting the Mother Earth. That is the best asana, to balance your root chakra. Then Tadasana, just standing and feet firmly on your ground and keeping your arms on sideways and just rooting yourself to just falling at Mother's feet. It's like, when we jump onto Mother's lap, that's how when you stand, you just put all your weight on Mother Earth. She's going to lovingly hold you. So that is one. And then the Parvatasana, the mountain pose, is one that really balances you. It will make you strong as a mountain. Mountain has strong root chakra. So those are certain yoga asanas. And as I said, after introspection and contemplation, it's a good thing to journal. And I always say journal after having meditation and yoga, because you have a clear mindset and you can kind of understand what your intuition is telling you, and you can write it on paper more clearly. Clarity is important when you journal. And as I said, most of the people have scarcity mindset. When you start getting healed in root chakra, you'll feel abundant. You'll feel like there is that a higher cosmic reservoir which will keep you, feed you. and give you whatever is needed in life. So you don't have to be fearful or keep very selfish and start snatching from others, but be contented that the higher self knows what you want and when you want it. So decisions are starting to based on trust and not fear. So you'll say, hey, I know this will work for me because I have a nice feeling. And you start taking decisions through your intuition. And that intuition is built after balancing root chakra. So I hope this is helping. 7 chakras, and if you practice yoga, and most of you, I think, are yoga practitioners, know about these 7 chakras. We've got many chakras, but these are the 7 popular ones that are really said in the yogic text will help us. So Muladhara is our root chakra. As you can see, this is the picture that really depicts the exact positioning of the chakras. Most of the chakra images we find in Google, they are not really accurate because the Manipura should be just behind the navel, and I see Manipura almost on the heart chakra, most of the images. So this is the right depiction of where the positioning of the chakras are. The chakras are the energy centers. We have like 72,000 nadis according to yogic philosophy. Nadis means those are energy channels that bring the prana, the life energy to us, and chakras are the junction where they regulate the energies. So the chakras are also like 84 chakras, they say, and maybe 2 chakras are outside our body is what the yogic philosophy tells us. But these are the 7 chakras we really focus on to balance ourselves in life. And there are certain sounds every chakra emanates. Muladhara is more of bumblebee sound. The Swadhisthana, the sacral chakra, sounds like flute when you meditate on that energy center. Manipura sounds like harp. So even when you, as I said, I follow Paramahansa Yogananda, and in our church, during holiday time, there are certain devotees who play harp. And whenever you close your eyes and just listen to that harp music, you will see that your Muladhara starts to vibrate very subtly. So that is the harp sound. Anahata, the heart chakra, it sounds like bell, it is like a Buddhist bell or a temple bell. It's very subtle. And whenever we see the bell, if there are some Indians joining this webinar, or you have visited India, most of the Indian temples are welcomed with bells first. So you ring the bell and then enter the deity. So that bell is like really invoking the heart chakra. Then there is Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi has that sea roar, that ocean wave hitting. So that sound comes in Vishuddhi. And I have heard it a little when I was healing my thyroid. It's like a roar of ocean waves coming and hitting to the beach, kind of a sound. Then it's the Ajna chakra, the wisdom chakra. And that is almost culmination of all sounds. You can also hear Om there, and then Sahasrara is the Om, 1,000-petal lotus, the final liberation. So in yogic philosophy, these chakras are the junction points where the soul has entered. It can be through any location. That's how the soul has descended. And according to yogic philosophy, through these energy centers, we have the capacity to increase our Kundalini Shakti so that the soul can ascend back to its creator. So that's why balancing chakras, the energy centers in our spine, is very important. In fact, my guru, again, Paramahansa Yogananda says, like the creator, the God lives in your spine, because those are the energy centers that are really, it's all about managing the energy, managing the prana. And the Muladhara chakra balances the Apanavata and Pranavata. So the Pranavata is the energy that goes up, Apan is the one that goes down. So it is the junction that really regulates the upward and the downward movement. And it's the root chakra where also the Ida Nadi and the Pingla Nadi start. Ida Nadis is from our left side, that is the moon energy, and Pingla Nadi is from our right side, it's the solar energy. And also to keep this gadget balanced, we have to have the balance of the lunar and the solar energy, and that starts again with root chakra. So root chakra is so important that this is what I always tell in the workshops and in my client is like, this is my own belief and this is how I have lived my life. We just flirt with life with aimless desires and aspirations. It is only when our root chakra gets activated and balanced, we start having a committed relationship with life. So really to know the purpose why we are here and to start living for that goal, to achieve what we have come for, we need a balanced root chakra, or else we'll just keep saying, okay, what is my neighbor doing? What is this doing? We start following keeping up with the Joneses is what they tell. We always never take time to see what is it that your higher self wants. What is it your purpose in life is? We just go get scattered like, hey, this person is doing this, hey, I should do it too, and you go and join this career is really in demand, let's go and do this. Oh, this thing is good, let me buy a house this way. Oh, let me buy this car because that will define who I am. So we just keep jumping from one thing to the other without knowing what we really need. We are only living life according to other people's needs and desires. But when you balance your root chakra, you're very secure in yourself. It doesn't matter what people tell you. If people pull you down, pull you up, they flatter you, they criticize you, it doesn't matter, because now, what is your destination. You know why you've come for, and you will just drive that path at your own speed. So that is the beauty of the root chakra. End of this webinar, if you were to take one thing in life is, if you want to live the life according to how you want it, you have to have a balanced root chakra. There is no other way out. There is no shortcut. And root chakra, as I said, it encompasses everything in our life. Every bucket of life is touched by root chakra. It makes sense logically too. How can you say, oh, I've got so much, I want compassion, I want empathy, I want unconditional love. And if you start just trying to balance your heart chakra, you might go a little somewhere. But if you don't start with the foundation, nothing sustains. So whatever you want, start with the root, So everything has to have and begin with the foundation. And if you want physical life to be healthy, emotional, manomay kosha to be healthy, spiritual life to be fruitful, intellectually you want to have a good career, a good pay, environmentally you want to live in a place where people respect nature, be in a place where you get good fresh veggies, a kind environment where people are loved and appreciated. Everything, getting drawn to any situation in life is also how good your root chakra is. How is your social life, how you deal with your family, friends, also depends how your root chakra is. And financial is a big thing too. So any aspect of life, root chakra has an influence, is what I'm trying to say. So chanting and meditation, we will do just a 5-minute meditation. I just want to give you an idea how to meditate on root chakra to heal and balance. But start slow, like 5 minutes, then increase it to 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, then go up to an hour or even more. The more you sit, the more you go inside. Obviously, you will be the beneficiary of it. So let's just do a root chanting and meditation. And Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, most of you might be familiar, that is the mantra, the Ganesha, for the root chakra. The gam means root. to really balance your root chakra. So this is a Sanskrit mantra saying Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. What it means is, it is a paraphrase or a translation of this is, I want to balance my root chakra. So when you see elephant-headed god, let's just not make it a god, just let's say elephant. How is the nature of the elephant animal? It is big. It has a solid root. When it walks, you know, it is very secure and stable. But once the elephant makes a decision, it wants to go in this direction, it just keeps going. Have you observed? You throw big hurdles in it, you throw big trees, whatever, it'll take its time, but it will cross every life challenge and still keep going to its goal. So that is why elephant god is revered to balance root chakra. Root chakra is all about giving you direction in life. So once you know the direction, no matter what, you have to keep heading towards it. It's not going to be easy, but just knowing where you need to go is winning more than half the battle. So it is like, get the grace of the elephant animal. Like once it makes the decision, it has to go in this direction. It will go no matter what. So that's why we pay our respects and recite the mantra Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. We will do that for like 3-5 rounds, and then we will say this Bij mantra for root chakras, Om Lam. Om Lam is nothing to do with spirituality or religion. What it is every energy center, every chakra in ours emanates a vibrational sound. And those vibrational sound, the sages, when they were in deep meditative state, have listened to them. And the root chakra, when it is balanced and activated when it is balanced, gives out this vibrational sound, Lam, Lam, Lam. So we recite that consciously so that we are activating the root chakra to balance us. So this is not any spiritual word or anything. It's just very scientific. It's a vibrational sound that the chakra emanates. So let's sit on the cross-legged position. We'll do this 5 minutes. It won't take long. But I would say you start with this and then build on. Let's close our eyes. Sit firmly, preferably on the ground in a cross-legged position. Keep your palms on your thighs. Gently close your eyes. Bring your palms together in Namaskar Mudra. And you can open your eyes and look at the mantra to recite it. If you know the mantra already, you can close your eyes and just recite with me. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. 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 You can recite it softly and mentally. Now bring your palms and try to touch it to the ground. Or you can go all the way down to the base of your spine. You're almost touching your bottom, because it's at the base of the spine is your root chakra. So whatever you feel comfortable, you can keep the palms on the ground. And now we are going to recite the Bij mantra for root chakra. And come with a mindset that this is going to heal you. Come with a devotional and reverent mindset, because these have been used for centuries and they have worked. So this is like a scientific way of balancing ourselves, because it's been used and tested in real life. So let's just be open. If not, we don't believe in it, that's fine, but be open to practicing it, because there should be an element of faith or openness for things to start opening or activating within ourselves. Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam. So when you're reciting this, try to focus on the point between the eyebrows, but visualize the red chakra, the red colored root chakra at the base of your spine, which is kind of blooming like a red lotus petal, which is trying to bloom. It's a bud and it's trying to bloom. So whenever you say it, visualize the bud blooming. Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam, Om Lam. The affirmation that has worked for me is very simple. You might be doing this meditation for any reason. It might be grief, loneliness. You're trying to heal your troubled past, a toxic relationship, anything. This affirmation really helps. Again, focus the gaze at the point between the eyebrows. And if you feel those emotions coming and hitting at you, it's fine. Just be an observer. Don't suppress them. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like yelling, yell. If you feel like laughing, laugh. Because these are the emotions coming out to heal you. So respect them, accept them. So just be an observer. We are not judging. Meditation is about just observing who you are. I am a child of divine. I'm secure and balanced. I am a child of divine. I'm secure and balanced. I am a child of divine. I'm secure and balanced. I am a child of divine. I'm secure and balanced. I am a child of divine, secure and balanced. I am a child of divine, secure. You can mentally whisper it as many times you want. But every time you say this, it starts to mean something to you. You start to believe it. So again, keep an open mind and recite it. And just pray to the divine to forgive you. You have to forgive yourself first. You have to forget those toxic emotions, toxic relationships, or whatever. Forget and forgive first for yourself, and then forget and forgive for the other person, if there is anyone involved. So you just sit, try to observe if any thoughts are coming, let it go. If it comes, let it go. Just try to get deeper and deeper in your inner self. And then visualize, once you feel you've come to that place where the thoughts have subsided, you're in that peace of calmness and tranquility. You bring yourself in the point between the eyebrows. Visualize yourself there in a white light or in whatever you want to. Visualize your own face, your own being there, and say peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Say this for a few times. And now bring the other person that is involved in building that toxicity in you. If there is no other person involved, just pray for yourself. But if there is any person or persons or a situation, bring that in your focus now at the point between the eyebrows and pray peace and harmony to that person, to that situation. Genuinely mean it. Feel it. Keep saying the same amount of time you set to yourself. Give that same amount to the other person and say peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony. After that, the magic is now bring both the people, yourself and that situation or the person or the persons together in that white bubble and pray peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony. This is so powerful. I can almost guarantee you'll start feeling that liberation. You know, things tie you down when there is toxicity. You'll start feeling opening up. There's that liberating effect. But you have to do this daily, and every day, do it a little more than yesterday, and you'll see the difference. So please practice this. This is very powerful. As we don't have much time, I'm going to end it here. I hope this had some impact for you guys. Please do let me know how you felt, and if you have any questions, send me an email. You will see my email and website in the future slides. So thank you for doing this with me. I also wanted to give you some diet tips to balance the root chakra. You know, as I said, eat to your body type is crucial. So once you start eating to your body constitution, the food starts to act as medicine. So eating to your dosha is the best number one step. And eating grounding foods really balance root chakra. So we do our part about meditation, chanting, introspection, journaling. But equally important is diet, because that also rules our physical body and our mental body. So eating the right kind of foods triggers right emotions. Toxic food, low prana foods, low energy foods create fear, discontentment, anxiousness, anxiety, and that in fact aggravates the imbalance of root chakra. So eat grounding foods, eat more root veggies, because root veggies ground you, like yams, sweet potatoes, carrots. Eat water-rich veggies like squashes, zucchinis, that balances root chakra. Bring fat in your diet. Most of the people who have imbalance in root chakra shy away from eating fats. Fat is the one that really balances, brings you ground, especially for Vata people. They need the fat to pull them down to Mother Earth. So ghee, it's pretty popular now. It's called clarified butter. Ghee is very, very good to balance root chakra. And nuts, eat almonds, walnuts, but soak them. Nuts and seeds are also good for root chakra, but preferably soak them for a few hours to completely digest it. And wholesome sweets, I would say eat more of dates, figs, prunes. That also gives you sweet thoughts. They are very highly sattvic in nature. So when you eat high prana foods, you will naturally start thinking positive thoughts, good thoughts in your mind. So food really works very directly with our mental body and with our moods. In fact, in yogic texts, they say if a person is having bad mood, they don't ask the situation, they ask what food did you eat, because that has a direct impact on your moods. So eat homemade, fresh cooked meals as much as possible. Try to eat seasonally, try to eat organic, locally grown as much as possible, because that has more life energy that helps to keep us alive in a fulfilled way. And include more legumes and grains. Legumes and grains also are very abundant in earth element, so they ground you. All kinds of legumes, mung beans, adzuki beans, black beans are very good. Just make sure you cook them in a mushy consistency so that you don't create gas or bloating. All kinds of grains are good. I would say avoid or limit meat intake, because meat creates fear in the root chakra. So if possible, limit it. Even if you eat, make sure you eat which is more organic and naturally sourced in a human way, and so that there is good kind of prana in that meat, rather than eating one that has been not done in the right shape or manner. So do not skip meals. That's one other big thing. Please do not skip meals, because that creates more air and ether, and that creates more imbalance in vata. And when we have vata imbalance, there is imbalance in root chakra. So I hope this helps too. And if you want to know more, you can take consultations with me. I do one-on-one consultations. You can figure out your body type, and I can give you a diet guideline that you can incorporate all your life, how to eat for your body type, to your changing seasons, and also for what imbalances you have, how to tweak the diet. So the foundation of Ayurveda is we are what we digest. It's not what we eat, it's what we think or learn, but we are what we digest. So in Ayurveda, you might be eating the best high nutritious meal, but if your body constitution cannot digest that nutritious meal, then that creates toxic, and that toxicity eventually leads to physical manifestation of disease. So what Ayurveda says, it's not just about eating healthy, high nutritious meal. It is eating healthy, high nutritious meal to your body type so that you digest it completely. So digestive fire is the root cause of health, disease, and longevity. Good digestive fire, good life, fulfilled life. So that's one thing I would like you to remember, is it's what you digest, it's not what you eat. As I mentioned ghee before, this is the clarified butter. I strongly suggest you make it at home. This is the photo from my kitchen. I use the Organic Valley cultured butter. It's unsalted. This is the only organic brand I've seen which does cultured butter. Ideally, to make authentic ghee, you need cultured butter. I have no affiliation with this brand. I pay full price, but this is the only brand that does cultured butter. So please make the ghee at home. That would be best, rather than buying it from stores. I wanted to quickly touch on the 6 tastes. Before the food pyramid or the recommended daily allowances came, Ayurveda simply came with a concept. If you want to eat healthy in your life, you have to comprise it with all 6 tastes. to have a complete nutritious meal. And those 6 tastes are sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, bitter. So these 6 tastes kind of, the 3 of these tastes will balance one dosha, the 3 of the tastes will imbalance certain dosha. So when you know your body constitution, your dosha, you will know which of these tastes should be abundant in your meal and which should be less abundant. So these are the tastes. If you eat, then you will eat the right amount of carbs, proteins, and fat. So Ayurveda says, don't dissect the food as carb, proteins, fat. Instead, eat your meals where all these 6 tastes are included. That makes it a balanced, nutritious meal. And this is just a quick slide, like what these 6 tastes do in our body, like, which sweet taste builds tissues, it calms the nervous. So when people have sleep disorders, I always say eat sweet. When I mean sweet, I don't mean white sugar. What I mean is dates or figs or prunes. So every taste has a function in our body. You can read it on this. This will come as a recording to you, so I don't want to spend a whole lot here. So if this has been some interest, and if you are interested to know more about Ayurveda and how to make it a lifestyle, and if you are a yoga teacher, how you can bring Ayurveda component into your yoga so that you can teach your students what kind of asanas to do for your body type, how to tweak their diet seasonally and to their dosha. Because in yogic philosophy, it says there is no one yoga that fits all. Just like the diet has to be customized, the asanas have to be customized to your body type to fully reap the benefits of yoga. So if you're interested, I would say come to this Rishikesh course. It's a 100-hour YTT training for 200-hour yoga teachers or 300-hour yoga teachers, where we dive deep. It's a 10-day intense course. I'm doing this with my yoga teacher, Yoga Rishi Vishwakutu. It's a blessing. We are doing a special, a $200 scholarship for a limited time only. So if you're interested, then please let me know by email so you can avail this $200 scholarship. The link for this class is right here. Go to akhandayoga.com and look at this workshop. You will have all the details of how to sign up and all the detailed topics on what we will be covering in this 10-day course. Here is my website, jivalifestyle.com, and my email is on the slide. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I would be more than happy to answer your questions. There's tons of information on this website. As I said before, you can look for the recipes. It's in that blog section. There's a drop down. Pick the recipe section, and you'll see tons of Ayurveda recipes. All of them are vegan and gluten-free. You can look at different Ayurvedic articles on it. So there's a lot of information. I would strongly encourage you to browse and check it out. And here is a slide where I do personal one-on-one consultations. As I said, my passion is I specialize in balancing women, lifestyle disorders. If you have any thyroid issues, digestive issues, hormone imbalance, I offer one-on-one consultations. So if you go to my website and click on book an appointment, this is the page you will land at, and it'll give you all the information how to set up a consultation with me. And if there is an interest, as I said, email me. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So it was a pleasure. Thank you for joining this webinar. It was really a special treat to do meditation with you all. I hope that you take all the tools that we shared in this webinar to balance your root chakra, and see you again in one of the webinars or workshops. Thank you and namaste.